Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I was working on covers and I thought I'd pop on here and show you guys how to use Heatbond to make a cover. So Heatbond is this stuff. I got this roll of it off of Amazon for, well, back then it was about $7. I don't know what it is now. I'll try to put a link in the description box, and you get quite a bit of it on this roll. So, and I've been finding it also, I've been finding this stuff at garage sales for really cheap too. So what it is it's got glue on two sides of it, and you use an iron and you heat bond it. You glue it with heat to your cardstock, and then you glue it with the fabric. So I've taken a piece of cardstock and I've put in my print on one side, and then I've turned it upside down, and I've cut the sheet of Heatbond to fit around the edge of where I want my cover. And you want to get it really close because the edges, the glue will stick over the edges. Once you heat it, it'll kind of glue to the whatever you're gluing to here. So you want to try to get it as close as possible, and that's why I have this sitting on here. It's hopefully holding it exactly where I want it when I start, so it's not off kilter. And then you take your sheet and you cut it off of the big sheet, and one side is like a papery side and one side is like a glue side. And you want the glue side down. Well, you want your cardstock down, because you're going to put the fabric on top of this, and you want your Heatbond glue side down on top of that, and then we're going to iron it on. And then my next experiment today is I'm using a little iron that I got from Temu. This is a $5 iron. Well, it was $5 when I got it. And I'm going to see if it's hot enough to glue this down. Now, it'll probably take just a little bit longer than normal because it's smaller, doesn't have as much area. Now on this, this stuff here, I just used some paper from the Dollar Tree. It's baking paper. I'd bought it because I thought it was going to be like parchment paper. They call it parchment paper, but it's more like wax paper. So I'll be interested to see what this heat does to it. But I figured that was a good thing to put underneath in case the glue melts over the edges, and then it'll stick. It'll stick to what's underneath there. So you just iron this on. This is way easier. Once you cut it and you get your fabric the right size, this is way easier than doing gluing. And the only glue that really works for putting a fabric cover over cardstock is fabric tack. Come on, brain. Now I've done it with Aleene's before, and it does work. You have to spread that out. You have to like make sure you get all of the edges, and it's a little wet. So Aleene's is. And so it can warp it just a little bit, but it does work. So, but the fabric tack is the best one. So now this one's not wanting to stick here. Is it still on? Yeah, it's still on. I think this one's stuck. Okay, I'm just gonna have to hold it there more. So when you're doing this, you have to hold it on there till the glue sticks. Go like this. And I should be able to take this off now because it's not gonna go anywhere. So the only thing about this little iron is it's gonna take a while. The big iron is much quicker. The big iron probably gets hotter. But guys, I've had my big iron for over 30 years. No, I've had my big iron for over 40 years, and it doesn't look the greatest. And I didn't want to put it on screen. So, but I thought some people might be interested in how this works. This one part is not wanting to stick. So, I don't understand. Anyways. So then once you get it to stick to the cardstock, you just pull this sheet off. This comes off, and there's another glue part on the other side. Then you put your fabric over it, center it, and then you start ironing your fabric on. And one of the nice things about this is if you have lacy material, it works really good, because a lot of times with your lacy material and trying to glue it, you'll have a lot of it seeping through, but this doesn't. And it doesn't usually have any bubbles in the material. So, which glue can you can kind of get bubbles when you're gluing if you don't have it. Not usually with fabric tack too much, but so I don't ever measure when I'm cutting it out of this stuff. I just put the cardstock on there and I take a pencil and I get my measurements that way and cut it that way, because I am not good at measuring. Even if I did measure, maybe it is glued, it just doesn't look like it. No, it's not glued. So is this getting hot? Yeah, I'm not sure this iron is really hot enough. I don't think there's any settings on it. I mean, you can do it, but it's way better probably to use a hotter iron. So just so you know, in case you guys got this, I use this iron all the time. I have a little piece of fabric that's gotten curled and I want to straighten it out. I have a lot of times lace will get curled sitting around or doing something, lace pieces, so I iron that. The other day I was coffee dyeing a bunch of paper and it got really wrinkled. So I got this little iron out and ironed the wrinkles out. I don't usually iron my tea stain, coffee stain paper, but that got so wrinkled I had to. So I found it kind of useful because it's small. So I am not going to end up getting this done because it is not wanting to. I don't think it's hot enough. So, but you guys get the idea. Once you get this to stick with the hot iron, then this paper, you just pull, it pulls away from the glue and it leaves another thing of glue, and then you take your, let me set this up. You take your fabric, which I'm working on Halloween covers. You take your fabric and you put it over the top, and you get your iron out and you just iron it on, and then you have a cover, which I think I have some already made. Just a second. Yeah, I got some already made. I do these ahead of time. Then you have this glued to, now this one I did on both sides because I wanted to see the pattern through the fabric, and you can see it's kind of cool. But that is glued to that. You just fold it over and there's your cover. And you don't have to strengthen this much more because this fabric really strengthens that spine. So you don't have to add a lot of tape or anything to the cover when you're going to make your journal. So that works really good. I will say that you can have a lot of trouble getting the corners to glue down. So you want to spend a little more time putting your iron on the corners and making sure before you stop, pull it back and make sure that it glues. Now I'll take a little bit of glue and glue that down. And then I always make my fabric over the edge and then I cut it down to size later on. Or sometimes if it's shabby, I leave it hang if I think it looks cool. So that's how you make a cover with Heatbond, cardstock, and fabric. So I will go get my big old iron out and iron this down. And I really hope you guys are having a great crafting day, and I really appreciate you coming by, and I hope you have a great day.